Wait, what? Another 2008 CBR 1000 RR? Now before all you guys get real upset and say, what, that's not a new bike, that's not a new bike, hear me out, just watch to the end of the video and I'll explain everything, okay? Okay guys, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. So, I hope not too many of you guys are upset with the new bike reveal, but let me explain it to you. For all of you guys who are here because of the Do It With Dan video, in that video I was trying to get a 2008 CBR 1000 RR. The last bike I bought after that video was a 2008 CBR 1000 RR. And the bike that I now have is a 2008 CBR 1000 RR. If you guys haven't noticed, I really like the bike. There's a reason my name's RR Rob 919. It's because I really like the RR models of the CBR. So I was searching around and I narrowed the bike search down to R1s and CBR 1000s again. I only had a certain amount to spend because that's what the insurance company gave me. So I was kind of limited on the bikes I could choose. Now it was still definitely enough money to get me the bike that I wanted, so I wasn't upset. Sorry, this road is just too beautiful not to be ripping it on. But, so I had it narrowed down to an R1 and a CBR 1000 RR. And I looked around. As you guys know, R1s are typically more expensive than CBR 1000s. And I narrowed it down to probably 3 or 4 R1s and 2 CBR 1000s. Now the one CBR was down at school, this exact color, everything, just different exhaust. And the other CBR was in Maryland. The R1s were all around me. They were all in Philadelphia, local. Oh, that's a cop. Thank God I wasn't speeding back there. Wow, that could have been really bad. Really bad. Hi. So eventually, after more searching, I narrowed it down to an R1 that was in Philadelphia and this CBR, which is in Maryland. It was about 2.5 hours away. For those of you guys who have been following my channel, following what I wanted to do to my old CBR, following kind of my dream CBR, not build, but whatever you want to call it, you guys will know I wanted an exhaust, I wanted some type of aftermarket windscreen, a Hot Bodies Racing fender eliminator. I never told you guys the brand, but it was a Hot Bodies fender eliminator. I wanted the bike to just be in great condition, not too many miles, you know, and exhaust obviously too. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, so just like simple things, right? And I came across this bike for a decent price. It had a Yoshi slip-on exhaust. I don't know what model Yoshi. You guys can probably tell me in the beginning of the video. I'm not sure what model Yoshi. But it's more expensive than the Two Brothers exhaust I just bought from my other CBR. So it had a nice exhaust on it. It had a Hot Bodies Racing fender eliminator on it, which I showed you guys in the clips in the beginning of this video. And it's black, it matched with the bike. So it had everything I wanted. It had a nice exhaust on it. It sounds great. It had a fender eliminator. It had all the good things that I wanted. It had an aftermarket windscreen, which I'm not a fan of this. It's too thin. It's like too flimsy. When I was hitting those speeds back there, it wasn't looking too good. Okay, I'm not staying behind this guy on this type of road, so this guy's getting past. And that's the perks of having a motorcycle right there. This bike had everything I wanted, and the guy was asking a little bit more than I wanted to spend, so I was talking to the guy. The guy seemed like a really nice guy, but I really wanted, you guys know the story of the old CBR that I bought and how much of a mess that was with the buyer and the title. Or not the buyer, the seller and the title. You guys, if you haven't heard that story, go watch my last, I don't know, all my last videos about buying the CBR, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I wanted to prevent that as much as I could. So I really did a lot of research about the person I was buying it from. The guy was a great guy. He was located in a little outside of Baltimore. The guy was real friendly, you know, every time I messaged him, he was like, oh, good morning, and all this shit. I asked for a few extra pictures. I asked for a exhaust clip of the bike, and he sent me all of it. He was real nice about it, real willing to accommodate to me. He knew I was coming from 2.5 hours away, all that. So just a real cool guy. So I met up with him. He was awesome in person. The bike came with 2 stands as well, and I didn't have any motorcycle stands. So the bike came with 2 stands. It came with a bike cover. It came with a disc lock. It came with a spare key, which my other CBR didn't have and needed. So, you know, the bike just came with a lot that my other bike didn't. And the bike itself is in 10 times better condition than the old CBR was. It's just the forks are great on this. The fairings are great. The only thing I need to work on is I need to adjust the clutch a little bit. It's adjusted for the previous rider and not me. So I need to adjust that. But other than that, the bike's great. I have no complaints. It's got OEM fairings, which, oh my gosh, you guys know what a pain in my ass sack those fucking fairings were. So it's got OEM fairings on it. It's got 2,000 less miles than my old CBR had. Never been down. Like I said, it's just got a lot more things that my old CBR offered. Yesterday, well, not yesterday now, you guys will be watching this a little later, but this past weekend, I was gonna go down there with my friend, but I told him I wasn't gonna go initially because it was all rainy and shit, so I was like, nah, I'm just not gonna go look at it this weekend. So he made other plans, and then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going. So I rented a U-Haul, which was like 15 bucks. It was no big deal. I rented a U-Haul. My dad was nice enough to go with me, even though he hates motorcycles. He traveled 2.5 hours with me, and it was cool. So we went down there, and the rain was horrible, and the weather was shitty, but we went down there. I talked to the guy, ended up buying the bike, obviously, and then trailed it home. And once we got home, the weather was kind of nice, so I did a little bit of riding on it. But I haven't even put my first tank of gas in the bike. That's how new it is. Well, like to me, not new. As for the guy who hit my bike, I don't know if I talked about it in the last video, but the insurance company was able to deal with everything. Everything worked out real well. But the reason why the kid wasn't answering my text was because he didn't want to tell his parents. He didn't want to tell his moms. Yes, moms. He had lesbian mothers. Not that I have a problem with lesbians, but I found it kind of funny how he had 2 mothers. Anyway, on to what I was talking about. So he didn't want to tell his moms that he had hit somebody. So he told them initially that, well, initially he didn't tell them at all. And that's why he was not answering my text. And then he's like, okay, well, I have damage to my car, so I probably gotta fucking tell him sometime, if that would make sense, asshole. So he finally told his mom that he backed into a pole, which last time I checked, I'm not a pole. So his moms had no idea. So when his insurance company called him to verify that the accident had happened and that it was his fault, his moms had no idea. So they had to talk to the son and see if the story was real and get him to admit to it. So he finally admitted that he hit somebody, and the moms were like, yeah, they took full responsibility of it, which is awesome. I appreciate that. We didn't have to get the witness involved. They were nice about it, which I assume they would be, considering, like I said, one of the mothers was a lieutenant for a police department. So a nice respectable individual, I bet. Oh, and what I forgot to mention is, when I narrowed it down, I don't know why this is just coming back to me now, but when I narrowed it down to the R1 and the CBR 1000RR, the R1 was about $1,000 more than this bike was, and I just didn't have that to spend for 2 reasons. First reason, the insurance company only cut me a check for a certain amount of money. There's nothing I can do about that if they only gave me a certain amount of money. I can't put any more of my money extra into the bike to buy a nicer bike. I just don't have that money at the moment. Yes, I'm working and I have money for other things, but I don't have that money to be putting in a motorcycle. Like for a new bike, I'm saying. I can do little things here and there, but I don't have money to be putting, I don't have $2 grand to be dropping on top of another X grand, whatever, to be putting into a new motorcycle. I just don't have that. So the reason, not only do I love this model, but another big part of the reason I went with this was because it was $1,000 cheaper, and I'm a broke college student. I gotta save money everywhere I can, so I apologize if you guys really wanted to see the R1. It definitely would have been cool for the channel. It would have been cool to kind of ride the Honda's leader bike and then ride Yamaha's leader bike and kind of just see the differences between them and see which one I like more. But that would have kind of sucked if I bought the Honda leader or the Yamaha leader bike and didn't like it as much. But anyway, so that's why I ended up with the CBR. I figured I could put that $1,000 into something a lot better, whether it be a car upgrade, whether it be another part for this bike once I get it, instead of buying the R1. Plus the R1, it had stock pipes. It was almost all completely stock. It did have 3,500 miles on it. but it was all stock, and that would have been another couple grand in upgrades that I wanted to do to it, so it just didn't make sense financially. So that's where I am today on the channel. This bike, for some reason, I'm in the mood to name this bike, so this bike I will be naming because I hope to keep this bike for a while. I have no idea why, but Lisa comes to mind. I don't know, but I don't know that I'm going to name it Lisa. I still got to think about names. If you guys got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reveal. I know it's not an H2. People, every time someone talks about getting a new bike, everyone's like, oh, get an H2. What the fuck? People don't have 20 grand, 25 grand to fucking just drop. I don't understand if people don't understand how much these bikes are or what, but like, people can't just buy an H2 because you commented. Like, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. I wish it did. So for all the people who I disappointed, I'm sorry. I hope you still watch the videos. It'll be just like old videos with the CBR. They're very similar bikes. They're actually the same bike. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I need to get gas real quick. So I think I covered all the points I wanted to cover for this video. If you guys like the bike, if you guys like the reveal video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping in, you got a lot of videos to catch up on explaining how I got here, and so check them out. It's been quite the journey with this whole YouTube thing so far. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers, so please help me to get me there. I got like 100 something, and then you bitches get to see my fucking face. Plus, I've been keep meaning to mention this in the videos. I will be back down in school in 2 weeks, and for those of you guys who don't know, I have a P.O. box set up there for fan mail. So check the description below if you guys want to send me something. That'd be awesome if you guys want to send over whatever, a letter, a package, whatever you guys want to send. And then when I go back to school, I haven't seen my P.O. box in almost probably 3 months. So I hope it's got some good shit in it, and I can make a video opening all that shit for you guys. So if you guys want to send me something, it'd be much appreciated. My P.O. box is down below. It's down in Alabama, and I will be back to the P.O. box and opening that stuff up when I get back down there in 2.5 weeks. But that's a wrap for the reveal video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.